I'm interested to actually see how Darren Spooner does. I was speaking to him earlier.
Okay.
The car looked like it was absolutely flying.
Yeah.
And when I spoke to him earlier, I was really happy with how things are going. And he said he was looking to see if he could go for the lap record. So we will see.
Okay.
I have to look up what the lap record is in the class.
Yeah.
But it would be great to see if Darren is able to achieve that today.
Definitely. And, you know, we also have, of course, in this class, Ben Robinson in the Noble M12. And he is, as you know from your own interviews with him, he is very bullish always. You know, he doesn't go to just make up the numbers. He goes to an event to win it. And he has done that in the past. And, of course, Darren Spooner then saying, I don't only want to win, I'm going to win and set the lap record in the process. That's a real challenge.
I think he was saying they were pretty close to where the lap record was already.
Yeah.
So, you know, if it's only a few more tenths of a second, then you're really going out there to see if you can nail that perfect lap. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? So if the car's like playing up well, everything's going according to plan, why not go for it?
Look how wide that arrow is on the 205 as well. It's wider than the car. This is the great thing about the pro. I mean, these pro cars are why. This is what put TimeAttack on the map, really, isn't it? If you're not even into this, if you're not even into TimeAttack, you know, in terms of you don't go to the events, you don't really get into all the ins and outs of it, but you know of TimeAttack as a discipline. You know, you conjure up in your mind these big, wide, fire-breathing, space-framed, you know, just super extreme machines, and that's what you start getting into once you come into these pro classes. Had a long day of talking, so I'm just going to have a sip of water. Susie, what's going on here? This is the number 100 car. This is Gary Hayward of AP Tuning. I mean, is there anything much happening in the world of Pro Extreme Evos?
So, I mean, Gary's car's been running all...
Pro Evos, sorry, not even Pro Extreme, all of them.
I mean, there are a lot of Evos on track, but spoke to Gary, he said, yeah, everything's been running fine, so he's had another, you know, hopefully uneventful day, but the car's running great, so... Yeah, again, he seemed to be flying earlier, so let's see what times he can do today. Andrew Barber, actually, from speaking with...
There we go. Oh, okay.
Just as I say that, I feel like I jinxed him.
Yeah. Commentator's curse. Good save, though. Good save.
Yeah. Well, luckily, you know, you've got the four-wheel drive to pull you out of it. But, yeah, I mean, Gary's a great driver. And again, just, you know, putting in a 51.2 with that moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see Simon Norris, as you can see on your screen at the moment, to see what time he can do.
I mean, the really tricky thing is, like, yeah, they've got all-wheel drive and all, but when you're looking at this much power, and you've got that all-wheel drive grip, and, of course, the tires that these guys are running, you know, you get sideways, you put on that opposite lock, and you even touch the gas, it grips up and it just catapults you out into the direction you're opposite locking into.
Yeah, I mean, they're very prone to lift off oversteer, so you know, you still have to, you need the four-wheel drive almost to kind of manhandle them around. But yeah, they're not easy to drive, especially at this power.
I mean, I'd imagine once you're sideways, you probably just want to back off, actually, and just let it...
No, never back off.
Really?
No, you keep your foot in on the Evo. That's, you know, the four-wheel drive will pull you around. If you keep your foot in, it's when you back off. Yeah, if you back off, that's when it's going to go sideways for sure. Be interesting to see Andrew Barber. So Andrew this morning was having some issues. They actually found a crack in the exhaust next to the downpipe. So Andrew hadn't been running full power at all this morning.
Okay,
so
that's what I was wondering.
They managed to get a weld. They managed to get that welded up. So somebody went off site and got a welding kit, brought that back. They've welded that up, so they got out for qualifying. You saw much faster times from Andrew. So, but obviously he hasn't had the sessions in the morning to kind of get to grips with the car on the track. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what time he can go out and set today.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Brands Hatch for us is our local round, but even when we travel a little bit further afield in the past when we did TimeAttack, if the day is going horribly, you think, right, lads, that's it, let's call it a day. But when you've come from Scotland for one day of TimeAttack, you are not going to let a cracked manifold stop you. You're going to go out and learn to weld, buy a welder. That Evo's looking a bit smoky.
I think it's, you know, everyone trying to help out each other, and I think James Dover, they managed to retrieve a welding kit from his unit. So, you know, it's testament to what TimeAttack is like. Everyone is really helpful in the pits. You know, it's a really friendly race series, and everyone wants to see everyone doing well because they're not kind of competing. They're just competing with trying to set their own fastest time. So it's
in a way.
They're you know, but it's good to have kind of competitions.
Yeah,
so it's,
yeah.
It's a super
friendly
friendly
competition.
pit. It's a great series.
I mean, I think there were. you know, especially you look back to the heyday of TimeAttack, and you know when it was you know, Black Mamba and all the Pro Extreme cars and all of this stuff. You know, you're going back a good few years, and it all started getting quite intense. I feel, you know, very, very, especially the extreme cars. That was very competitive, and I think nowadays, in one sense, in terms of the spirit in the paddock, TimeAttack's in a real golden era. Just in terms of, it's just such a nice place to be. Everyone's so friendly. Everyone's so helpful. It's great. TimeAttack just goes from strength to strength.
Yeah, and it's definitely not like that on all racing, so it's great that it's like that in TimeAttack.
Definitely. Here we go, Gary Plant then in that 927 Club Pro 4-wheel drive Mitsubishi Evo 5 single round entry. I mean, Susie, do you know all of the Evos here?
Pretty much. You know, there's a lot of Evos out on track, because it seems to be TimeAttack is a place where they dominate. So yeah, I've spoken to everyone.
Why do you think that is? Like in brief, why is the Evo such a popular platform here?
It's an easy platform to modify, to get big power from. It, you know, it's costs quite a lot of money, but you know, it's relatively simple. I say simple. It's not inexpensive. But yeah, to get that, there are so many cars running that it's a tried and tested platform, basically.
Yeah, I guess so. And yet you have people like Simon Norris who are still managing to pioneer stuff. Very cool. So there you go, Darren Spooner then cocking a wheel as he comes through Druids, looking to set that lap record as he threatened to do earlier on. Of course, much to the frustration perhaps of Ben Robinson, who is hotly gunning for that win as well. Darren Spooner saying, nah man, I don't even want the win, I want the lap record, that's why I'm here. And let's see if he manages to pull that off. Clearly when he spoke to Susie, he had a bit more pace up his sleeve, and he thinks he's in with a shot of getting that
sure
lap
what's
record.
Going on, because I can't see any of his lap times. Oh no, I've only just seen a lap time from him.
Okay, Darren, so actually that's because he's quite far down right now. So Darren Spooner currently 7th fastest in class. Sorry, 7th fastest overall, and
fastest in class.
He's fastest in Club Pro 2.
But it looks like that was the first lap that was registered on the system.
Okay. Because yeah, of course, there's so many of like the 4-wheel drive and extremes in front that it actually overall puts him quite far down. So that threw me off a little bit. But in terms of Club Pro 4-wheel drive, you know, you discount the big Evos, and of course he's going very quickly indeed. And let's not discount also, we're talking about Evos, there's also Paul Doyle in the BC Racing Subaru Impreza in Pro Extreme, 2nd in class behind Simon Norris.
Paul always seems to have a story to tell, so yeah, obviously in Donington they ended up having to fix a broken gearbox, and today they were having problems, they think, with the centre diff. So the car was only running in rear-wheel drive earlier on.
Oh, wow.
So they took that out, then they thought there was a problem with the prop. Then they looked at that and then actually found out there was a problem with the rear diff, so they have replaced the rear diff. So actually, they didn't know if they were going to get back on track, so they've done pretty well to kind of like replace all of that and get back out on track. Again, an eventful day for them.
Yeah. I remember seeing the rear wing collapse on that car when it was at Canwell Park. I think it was last year. It was making so much downforce from that ridiculous wing that it snapped its own supports. They're really pushing the boundaries with that thing. Interesting. So Richard Hampstead here in the comments says, "Come on, Norris. TA record." Now,
it's got a little way to go. I think the TA record, I believe, for Pro Extreme Class is still held by the SVA Imports Evo.
It's below 45 seconds, isn't it?
It is. I think it's pretty much 45 seconds dead.
Okay.
Or maybe like 0.005 or something. So it's
okay. He's got some way to go.
About a second off. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's currently in the pits.
And that's going to be tough. And that record has stood for a long time. I think that was set back in 2014. I think so. Yeah, it's a long time ago.
Yeah. I think that car was also, because I remember we did a little tie-up with Project Cars a while ago, and I think the SVA Imports car was
in Project Cars. Yes.
Did you work on that game?
I did work.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
Okay, so you know firsthand. Okay, I thought that car was in there because we played a lot of it during lockdown. That's quite cool to use some TimeAttack machinery in that. Right, so let's have a look at what's going on there as the sun begins to set. It's been setting for a while, and the sun continues to set here at Brands Hatch Indy. We have 4.5 minutes of the session remaining. That is the number 127 car of Bradley John, single round entry in that Mitsubishi Evo 9.
See Paul Doyle.
There we go. There's Paul Doyle with that
new rear diff.
Yeah, new rear diff. Headlights firmly on, just to tell everyone he is not messing around right now. He is not going to yield to anybody. You can see little chunks of tire just flying off there. These pro cars are allowed, in fact, I think they're encouraged, even mandated, to run slicks. And you can see chunks of it just flying off there as he came around Druids. And you can just see how massive that spoiler is, and just how tiny the rear wing, I should say, and how tiny those supports are, of course, in the pursuit of weight reduction. Those are tiny, 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 tiny wing mounts. And you can see how they pushed it so far to the point of collapse at Cadwell Park, because they are really taking out every single picogram they can, and it seems like they found a good balance with this current setup. That being said, Paul Doyle still a little bit off first place in class in Pro Extreme, but
he's going to be hard pressed to catch up with Simon Norris.
I mean, it's going to be hard for anyone to catch up with Simon. I mean, yeah, very, very quick, isn't it? Both the car and the driver. But you know, Paul Doyle is giving it a good old go. Current fastest time of 50.2 as he heads now into the uphill second sector. On the tail of that two-door Impreza Type R of Ian Pittman, the number 81 car.
Ian Pittman has had his son and his daughter do some illustrations on the side of his car, and it's amazing.
Oh, that's nice.
To recall.
Give me a genre. Is it a dog? Is it a car?
There are lots of things, but one of the comments from his daughter is "Go fast, but not too fast."
Oh. So they look quite young, I presume. Have I just insulted?
8 and 10.
Okay, they're not like grown adults who just haven't just insulted them. They are children. Okay, that's a really nice touch, actually. Because they are his main supporters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. I like that. That's really nice. So what's this? 927 then. This is the car of Gary Plant. Gary Plant, I should say. No R in there. GR Performance Mitsubishi Evo 5. Another single round entry. Single round entry, but I mean, I think he's done the whole season by this point as Gary Plant in that car. Because oh, there we go. Getting very sideways there. The blue Evo.
Gary Hayward.
Of Gary Hayward. Just coming out of Graham Hill. Again, so easily done. As you come into that braking zone downhill, you need a lot of steering input, and it's so easy to get it crossed towards the exit. But you know, with you can just kind of straighten out, get on the power, and it will pull itself clear in the case of these all-wheel drives.
See, Andrew Barber there seems to be on a flying lap, so they're down to the last, just over a minute. So
yeah.
Let's see what times they can do. It's down to a 48.8.
Okay, yeah, there we go. So some great driving there, and. Yeah, you know, if you're lucky, you'll finish off this lap, and then you know you've got loads of time for one more.
Looks like the world is holding together well, so that's good news.
Yeah. Oh, there we go, big. Oh, Graham Hill. Every single time it catches somebody out. But luckily, I mean, if that was it wasn't intentional, I'm sure. It was intentional to not crash. But to just dive off the racing line towards the inside like that, intentional or not, was surely very, very handy for the running of this session, because that means that we don't have a car stuck in anywhere it shouldn't be. Big flame out of the side of Roman Grandil's car, running that yellow cross on the back of his car, which I thought he's actually done 5 events, but I guess not. But yeah, what an incident. Graham Hill has been catching out so many drivers. And we've been talking about, oh yeah, it's been rubbering in all day. We've got the Civics, we've got this, that, the Drifters, and so on. I mean, has it really rubbered in? Because people are still falling off of Graham Hill like nobody's business.
Like you say, you've got all the weight on the front wheels. It makes the back incredibly light as you turn in, so it makes the back really easy to rotate. So yeah, it can just catch people out if they try too hard.
Graham Hill is super tricky too. And then sometimes you see some maniac trying to overtake on Graham Hill. I mean, generally speaking, I think people are intelligent enough to know that you don't do that. Just because it's just such a tricky corner to get one car through, let alone two side by side. Very, very tricky corner.
See what Roman manages to do in the Audi.
Yep.
It's great to see an Audi.
Oh, of course, because you've got one of these.
That's my daily driver.
Almost.
It's not quite the same as Roman's.
Not quite the same. Not quite the same. But I just realised, yeah, you've got that kinship with Roman Grendel in the Audi S3 as well. And
his time's still running, so I don't think that last time has.
Oh, okay.
He's gone across the line.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, he's up to 1 minute 12. It could be something to do with our own system over here, because yeah, he's here as having put in a 56 just now. So personal best there from Roman Grendel on his final lap. So that's good to see, that constant journey of improvement, and that's what TimeAttack is all about, isn't it? You're improving yourself as a driver, you're improving your build, you're improving your know-how of how to build. And so our drivers then, having taken the checkered flag, now coming into Parc Fermé. Let's just review these results, and then we'll be signing off. It's just another day. They sure do fly, these, although I must say, the Go Japan show was quite intense. I think there was a lot happening today. Great day as always, but
it's great to see shows happening again as well.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
life hopefully
definitely.
getting a little bit back to normality.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about other countries, but in the UK, it seems like we're just kind of back to normal in a way. So to have the crowds and like the shows and like, let's just pretend, I just want to believe that that's it. We're back to normal. It feels that way. It's so great, and we can see everybody here in the pit lane. Again, we're going to get these results up any minute now, and that's going to round up our, yeah, I mean, Susie's completely right, and I think most of our previous rounds have had some kind of, overshadow by, the current situation, but this just feels like normality. It feels so good. But there you go. These are your results. Darren Spooner then winning Club Pro two-wheel drive for the 51.1. Not sure what that means in terms of the lap record. Club Pro four-wheel drive. There you go. Ian Pittman at the top of that class with a 52.9.
So his daughter's advice to not go too fast.
Not too fast. Not too fast. He's got exactly
fast enough.
Goldilocks speed. Simon Norris then at the top of Pro Extreme. And then GT3 Sports Grand Prototype only had Stephen Henson in today in the 996 GT3 Cup. And then Pro two-wheel drive, Luke Senjakovsky in the Honda Civic FN2. And then BC Racing Pro four-wheel drive, Andy Barber there right at the top, ahead of Gary. That's quite a close one for the most part, actually.
Yeah.
That was great fun.
4 drivers within a second of each other.
So there we go. So that was another day, another $1. Thank you, Susie, for jumping in for the final session. That was great fun commentating with you. Hope that the viewers here on the trackside and on the streams have enjoyed. And we will see you next time. Susie, thank you.
I'll see you at Snetterton.
Yeah. Thanks very much, guys. And we'll see you next time.